Those of you who know me, I enjoy playing video games, computer games. I also have a separate channel for that. So it's a fairly important issue to me. And in fact, in the past, I've covered this idea of women and feminists being involved in computer games and video games and making all sorts of demands and basically interfering with primarily men's enjoyment. So I'm very appreciative that Bernard made this video, and the previous one as well, the related one, about this young girl slash female who apparently has succeeded in getting money to make videos about what she misleadingly believes is misogyny in video games. I'm not shocked. In fact, I probably would bet my money that a goodly number of men gave her money so she could do it. But what I do want to say here is that no matter how much the niche or the branch, the sector of computer games, video games, is assaulted by feminists and female inclinations and desires, I, in a positive light, would like to suggest the idea that the gaming industry is fairly resilient. Let me make the analogy. So here in Europe, we have the European football, soccer to Americans, football championships going on. It is a time of revelry and intense interest for most men. I myself have no interest in football, so I'm an exception there. But for most men, it's a primary interest, and of course, all the marketing and advertising and the like is geared towards men. Now, it is simply a factoid, pardon me, a fact, not a factoid, a fact that um, men are more interested in this particular kind of sport than women are, and so marketing and advertising is targeted towards that group. And likewise, I think it can be seen in a similar vein with regards to computer games, video games. That the fact is that if the gaming industry as a whole gave in and caved into every demand made by a feminist slash female, they would eventually begin to alienate their major customer base. And their major customer base is guys, men. In fact, I know of men, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, they only do spend their money on games. They don't really spend their money on much else. So imagine an industry which just said, you know what, you and you're still the large majority, men. We need to adjust. We need to acclimate to the new atmosphere, the female feminist atmosphere in gaming. And so we're not going to be doing, I don't know, X, Y, Z. They will lose money. And I am of the opinion that ultimately to a company, the profit margin is the most important thing, which means that no matter how much clamoring and caterwauling we might hear on the part of feminists and females complaining about sexism and misogyny in games, um, it's not going to do a whole lot. It's one thing to infiltrate political structures and take control of them, but when it's really just about making money and satisfying stockholders, shareholders, uh, the money is going to do the talking, and I'm pretty convinced of that. And as I've said in a few comments, the simple fact is that the vast majority of games give you so much choice, so many options in the year 2012. You can play as a female, you can play as a male, you can play if you want as a transgendered. I mean, there are mods for that kind of thing. It's not my a cup of tea, but if you want to do it, go for it. There's so many options. You can play the game basically as you want to in the most individualistic manner. So I know guys who play games with, half-naked women with, H-cup tits, and others who want to play more realistically. And you can play a dwarf, or you can play an orc, and I mean, you can do whatever you want. So where are all the issues coming from? Yeah, there are a certain number of games, maybe Tomb Raider and what have you, that seem to appeal to more of a male audience. But like I said, most gamers are still male. It's simply a fact. And the kinds of games, action, adventure, shooting, that is primarily, though not exclusively, still a male domain of interest. So it's no wonder that the market and companies seek to cater to that interest. They want to generate profits and revenue, and they do that by appealing to what interests your average guy or the average gamer who happens to be a male, quite possibly with typical male interests. So I'm as amusing and alarming. Well, let me make a final comment that I never in my few years on YouTube has it occurred to me to ask for money from my subscribers or anyone for that matter making videos. Whether I make videos about men's rights or men's issues or computer games, it's a hobby, and I wouldn't be doing it if on some level I didn't enjoy it. So you would think that would be sufficient, but apparently for this particular female, it isn't. And oh, it doesn't surprise me, but I'd be interested in seeing the kinds of people giving her money. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if it's in fact men doing it. Anyway, thank you, Bernard, for making this video, and thank you for your insight.